Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to Millionaire Gaming. So today I have a special guest with me. Say your name.
Hey, it's Gold Yen. What's up, guys?
Yes, this is Gold Yen. He actually is the one that got me Thug Pro for my computer.
Yo,
So I
dudes,
thought
break out
in
the
this
SPF
video we've decided to
5000 'cause we're
do
about to show
Santa
these bums
Cruz,
what it
but we
feels like
also
to get
want to talk to
seriously
you guys.
burned.
Like it's something different. I want
So
to
you
try
ready to
something
get
different,
rolling?
you know?
Start off by knocking out the stuff that'll rack us up
Yeah,
some
it'd be.
serious points.
I think this is a pretty cool
Now
idea
let's
that
see
you
if you're
had.
ready to move
All
on.
credit goes to him. This was his idea completely.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be kind of cool, you know, instead of just me monologuing just random shit. So I thought maybe this time we can actually, you know, talk about, you know, pretty much to Tony Hawk stuff, especially because we're playing Santa Cruz, one of the remix levels on Tony Hawk's Underground 2 remix, which is playing. So what do you want to talk about, my dude?
I think maybe we can start this off with our favorite level.
Yeah, the favorite level. So I have a lot of favorite levels. Like when I was playing like Thug Pro and stuff, I'd have to say one of my favorite levels is probably like Santa Monica, but if I have to say on Underground 2 Remix, I'd probably say between Las Vegas or Santa Cruz. What about you?
Well, if we're talking with Underground 2, I would have to say Kyoto would probably be my favorite level that's in Remix.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever did you ever find out the backstory about Kyoto?
Actually, I have not.
It's actually a pretty cool thing. It's actually in the game. There's a huge battle between Ultraman and these huge beasts, and you have to.
Yeah.
There's actually a whole like fighting cutscene. You can actually see what's going on, and you see that huge print in Kyoto. That's actually from the monster. And once the monster dies, you have to play as Ultraman or what I can't figure out his name properly, but you play as him, and you can actually
Yeah.
destroy his little kids and stuff. It's one of the coolest things.
Yeah, I like those. That's something that I liked about Underground 2 was that you could play as other skaters while during the story mode rather than Underground Run where you had to go into free play.
Yeah, I like the some of the main characters on Underground 2 Remix, but it kind of annoyed me because if you played the Underground 2, there's like a few characters that are in the game that you don't actually get to play as on like the other ports instead of on Underground 2 Remix, where you can actually play as them and have their missions.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite soundtrack on the Tony Hawk series of any game?
If I had to say for any game, my favorite soundtrack would rather be between Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 or Underground. I really liked how they had Nas in Underground, but I liked most of the music in Pro Skater 4, almost all of them. So I would have to say, to be honest, Pro Skater 4, because I liked almost every song on there.
I have to agree with you because on Underground they had such a good soundtrack. I actually really enjoyed most of their music. But Pro Skater 4 always has like a special memory to me. But then
Yeah.
again, I do like the other ones. I did like the first one where it had Primus and many other groups, you know, like they had Superman by Goldfinger, or in Underground 2 where they had all these underground like they had well-known artists, but like not a lot of people know about them then.
Yeah.
Or American Wasteland's soundtrack was pretty decent.
Yeah, I think I liked the old one thing that I just like in general about the old days, so like the early 2000s in skateboarding, is back when they listened to that type of music while skating. Nowadays people listen to rap music, which honestly I think to some people rap music goes good with skating, but in other cases I don't think it's a very good combination if you're, you know, a fan of the early 2000s skateboarding, you know.
Yeah, but if I'm like ever skateboarding, I always put on some Misfits. That's some quality shit, dude.
The Misfits is a very good. Also, Sam Hain, which is also vocalized by Glenn Danzig, who was also part of the Misfits. And they're called Danzig now, but Sam Hain is also a really good band to listen to while skating.
Yeah,
I
funny
think.
enough, Sam Hain was actually on a Guitar Hero game, and it was the song Mother of Mercy.
I have not heard that one actually. I've heard the November Coming Fire album, and I've also heard the live DVD from 1984, I believe.
Oh, nice. So,
So,
what was your least favorite soundtrack though on the Tony Hawk games?
I'm gonna let you answer that. I gotta think about that. I'll let you answer that one first.
To me, it's between I have to say between Tony Hawk's Project 8 or some of the the DS ones. I probably have to say Motion has the really worst soundtrack of all because there's really no well-known artist. It's just music.
Yes.
There's they have a song called Bang Your Head and you would think it'd be like a Quiet Riot, but it's really not.
I've just thought of my least favorite soundtrack now. You might not know this very well. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 did have a soundtrack. It just never played while skating. But
Yeah.
the Pro Skater cutscenes, or when they would show live footage of them skating, it would have songs attached. I really only liked Tony Hawk's song, but the rest of the songs for every other skater I did not like.
Yeah, because I actually played Pro Skater 5, very terrible game, but there's only one song I actually liked on it, and it's not even the greatest song either.
Yeah, the one I liked was called, I think it's A Little Death to Laugh. I forgot who it was by. Dark Cave or something. I'm probably wrong about that.
I think my favorite song on that one was probably Little Monsters by Royal Blood, just
It
because...
was actually Cold Cave. Sorry.
But yeah, and then freaking on Project 8, the only songs I really listened to were freaking Kasabian's Clubfoot or the other one, freaking American Life by Primus, and everything else I didn't really know.
I think it's really sad, though, about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, because you would expect a good soundtrack. You know, it had the Ninja Turtles. You would think maybe the theme would be in there. It had Tyler, the Creator. You would think maybe some of his music would have made it in the game.
Yeah, or they could have put freaking Flower, one of the songs from Flower Boy, because that was right when it was coming out with it.
When did the game come out in 2015?
Yeah.
Flower Boy came out in 2017.
Oh fuck, they could have probably put they could have put Yonkers on it. That wasn't a bad song.
Yeah, Yonkers could have definitely went on it. That 2015 was at the time where he was doing a lot with Odd Future before he really focused on his brand Golfwang.
Mm-hmm.
So there was an album with Odd Future in there, but his most recent project at the time of Pro Skater 5 was Wolf, and I think they could have had Domo 23 in there or something from Wolf.
Yeah, dude.
But I mean, Robomoto doesn't know what they're doing, so we all knew that. I mean, you would have expected more Metallica songs in Pro Skater HD, but we didn't get too many.
We got one song, and it was All Nightmare Long, and that was a DLC. You had to pay $10 for the DLC, and it came with James Hetfield and Robert Trujillo.
I feel like an underrated album from Metallica would be Garage Incorporated.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I really like that album.
Okay, what's your favorite cutscene on any of the Tony Hawk games?
The alternate ending to Underground 1 where you punch Eric Sparrow in the face.
Yeah.
Has to be my favorite.
I agree. That was one of my favorite ones as well, but I think I have two favorite ones. I think one was from Proving Ground, and it was where you were about to get branded from the people on Lance Mountain's story. That was one of my favorite cutscenes, as well as this other one where you're playing on Underground 2 Remix. And you know how in Boston you're about to see who gets the boot? On the alternate thing, Bam actually spits on Rodney Mullen and he yells at him. He's like, "Hey!"
Or the time that dude's in the porta potty and during Boston on Underground 2.
Oh yeah.
He gets thrown into the ocean. Or when Eric Sparrow gets kicked out, that's also pretty.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. I want to apologize. That kind of cut off. So, we're back.
Yep. We are ready to talk about what was our favorite character.
Yep, favorite characters. So, what is your favorite character, actually?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I think that if we had to say story-wise, I would say that, the custom skater is very interesting. but out of the entire game, I really like the hidden skaters, or the unlockable ones. But because I'm a fan of Iron Maiden, I gotta go with Eddie from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. That was a very cool person to skate as.
Yeah, I actually liked some of his unlockable moves. Like, they're pretty fucking intense. They actually were pretty gory too. But if I had to say my favorite character on story-wise, still probably the custom skater, because you know he's OG as fuck and awesome. But if I had to say, I'm not really sure. I think possibly my favorite character might be either Judy Nails or MCA from Proving Ground. Don't know why. They were cool characters to me.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the guy from Star Wars in the skate game as well?
There's multiple. Wasn't there there was multiple Star Wars. There was Boba Fett. There was
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. Yeah. Was I have a feeling, was Obi-Wan Kenobi ever in it?
No, he was never in any games.
Oh, I don't know why. I can see him in one. I don't.
Yeah, I feel like he could be something cool. But what about your least favorite skater?
Eric Sparrow, of course, Eric Sparrow. Like, no one likes Eric Sparrow.
Yeah, Eric Sparrow is an ass.
He thinks he's all that. He's only skated for money. He turned on he turned on every custom skater.
Yeah, now that I'm realizing that, he actually has. He did it on the first one on Underground 2, and Proving Ground. The only one that he didn't fuck over was the one from Project 8, because they didn't even meet up.
You know what I think possibly hints towards the fact that he got broke?
How?
Not only did he, stop rapping after, the first game that he was in. If you ever noticed in Proving Ground, when you beat him in the race and you take his sports car, it's the same car from Underground 1, meaning it's the same model, so that's an old car at that point.
Yeah.
And he's been driving an old car, and because he doesn't have the money to get a new, if he's a rapper and a skater, you think he'd be making bank off of everything. So you would think he'd have like a modern car, but he doesn't. Therefore, he's went broke, obviously.
But also, then I gotta realize on Underground 2, he lost all of his notoriety. But then,
Yes.
if you realize in Proving Ground, he has an actual, like, his own skate park. So I'm wondering, what happened? Did his music actually get good, or did he just come into a large sum of money? I'm actually kind of curious about that now.
Another thing to tell is Tony Hawk obviously doesn't want anything to do with Eric Sparrow, because Eric was with Tony Hawk during the World Destruction Tour, and he completely dropped him after that, because if he was still in with Tony Hawk and the skaters, he wouldn't have had to compete in the Tony Hawk tournament.
Yeah. Also, if you actually see one of the messages, he says, like, he hit a whole bunch of schoolgirls when they were in Kyoto if you played the PlayStation 2 version of it. So, yeah, he's saying he sucked really terribly.
Yeah, he's not even that good at skating. It's really easy to beat him. On like one of the first missions, he's the tutorial.
Yeah, and he's like,
So-
he was like, my knee's wrecked. Can you grab him for me?
Yeah, you have to grab his board, and then when you have to like score more points than him in New Jersey in level 1, it's really easy.
Yeah, it's
Even
pretty
on
simple.
sick difficulty, it's not even that hard.
But all aside of Eric Sparrow right now, what is your least favorite level?
Well, we both know our least favorite level.
Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Downhill
Jam.
Horrible level.
Yeah,
Horrible level. It should have never been in any Tony Hawk game. If it could have been in Skate, that would have been an interesting level. But in Tony Hawk, no.
But dude, that freaking level is so broken, especially on Pro Skater HD. Fucking broken.
Here's the thing with Pro Skater HD, right? So you have a broken game company. You have a broken game. You have a broken level with broken missions. You take that all together, and you just have a whole pile of just awfulness. It should have never been made, especially in HD. You realize HD was supposed to look on like the best moments of the Tony Hawk series? How is Downhill Jam one of the best moments? It's
Really?
one of the most horrible moments. it was in the first Tony Hawk game. Who cares? I would
Really?
rather play the mall. I would rather play the mall than that.
Yeah, Maul actually looked decent on freaking HD anyway.
Let me tell you this. Anytime I play HD, which I never do, anytime I do, I only play the mall level. That's all I play.
Yeah, like for me, it's pretty much the same thing. They could have put so many different levels on there, honestly.
No, but no, they would rather have, the horrible levels.
Like, if you look at Pro Skater like 3, they could have put Rio. They could have put so many other levels on there.
They could have put, dude, I really wish they would have put the cruise ship. That would have been so cool.
Dude, imagine that in HD. You could have seen the Neversoft girls and everything. Or even freaking if they put Suburbia. Suburbia was a
Well,
decent level.
To be honest with you, you wouldn't have seen the Neversoft girls. Robomotor has a history. They don't know how to work artificial intelligence. They don't even know how to put people models.
The only artificial intelligence they actually put was on frickin' Canada on the Pro Skater 3 DLC, which was $10. May I mind you?
Wasn't the didn't the airport have like a driving like cab car though?
Yeah, but also in school, I think too, they had a person. It was the same NPC from Project 8, the school guard, driving a
Yeah,
frickin' golf
yeah.
cart.
I literally hang out with him because it literally you just get so lonely playing that game. It feels like it doesn't even feel like it doesn't feel like a game because games, feel somewhat lively. This isn't a horror game where it's like you're left by yourself.
Yeah, it's not
It's-
Outlast.
Yeah, it's like none of that. Like this, even Outlast has good artificial intelligence, and Outlast is a good game. But we're not really going to talk about Outlast because we're talking about a bad game right now.
Yeah. But anyway, all that aside, what about your favorite special move?
Probably the Nutbuster and the creative move.
Yeah, the Soul Skating and the Nutbuster. Dude, those were iconic back in the day. Like, I really liked it.
I'm trying to think. What was the name? What was it called? Like Watch This or something?
Which one?
The one, it's like where he, that random Tony Hawk Underground board comes in.
Oh, the Yeah Right manual.
Yeah, right, yes.
Yeah, dude,
That
the Yeah
was-
Right manual. Double Fistin' was also one of my favorites, as well as the Indy 900 or the Moonwalk 5.0, as well as the, what do you call it? There was another one I know offhand, but I can't remember it, Sometimes it happens.
I tell you what, if Michael Jackson would have ever been in the game, he would have had the nut grab. That would have been his special move.
Yeah.
It would have been like the nut buster, but and then that little little noise that he makes would
Yeah.
play. Dude, I was surprised he never made it into one of the games.
Yeah, he's never
'Cause-
really been in any games, to be honest.
Actually, well, he did have his own video game actually for the Sega CD or Genesis, I want to say. Sega Genesis.
Damn, really?
Yeah, he had his own game. It was, yeah, it didn't really have anything to do with him playing music. He was like I don't know. I think he had like an arcade version of it too.
That's interesting.
Very interesting, yeah.
But, I also have to say, freaking the old school versions of the, like, Pro Skater 3 and 4, on PlayStation 1, they kind of suck, let's be honest. They're good for retro stuff, but they just genuinely suck.
You also gotta take it with a grain of salt that was old hardware.
Very old hardware, but just thinking about it now, it's just like, it was pretty broke. Like, you can't rever on, on the dot, and you can't really do Flatland anymore.
I think when Tony Hawk started getting good, it was probably during 2X. That's when it started to get a little better. And then once 3 came out, that revolutionized everything. Like, that's when everything got good. That's, when you could do more moves and stuff. And then 4 came out, there's a lot of things. And then Underground introduced getting off your board, which was a big help during combos.
Yeah, oddly, I remember all the things that they actually brought into the Tony Hawk games, because one, They had they didn't have anything on Pro Skater 2. They had reverts. No, sorry, manuals. Pro Skater 3 had reverts and manuals. Pro Skater 4 had spine transfers. Underground had walking. Underground 2 had sticker slaps and tagging and vert plants. And American Wasteland had
You could also
parkour.
rage.
Yeah, and freak out and parkour. Don't
Yeah,
forget
freak
that.
out.
And then frickin' Project 8 had ragdoll physics. Let's be honest, the ragdoll physics on that game was kind of interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was actually really interesting. You know, Project 8 did take away cheats though for a little bit.
Yeah, they didn't have it on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 port.
They brought it back during Proving Ground though, which was, would you say Proving Ground was the last good, decent Tony Hawk game?
Hands down, yes.
They took a lot, they did take stuff out of that game. I don't think your board can get damaged at all.
No, not anymore. I wish they could do that. Like, they could have did the freak out still, or they could have added, like, the handstands. That would have been fucking cool, too. Like,
I feel like I wish technology that Rockstar has would go into like a Tony Hawk game, because you know how like like Red Dead Redemption 2, your beard and hair grows out and like animals slowly decompose. Imagine that with your board. Like imagine if you buy a board, you can literally wear it out so much where like trucks will just randomly fall out, the board will snap at a random moment during any mission or anything.
yeah,
That would be awesome.
that would be pretty freaking cool. They had it on, that freaking Thrasher Skater and Destroy. That was actually pretty good for what it was back in the day. I'll be honest, that was a really good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very underrated, to be honest.
Very underrated.
But what do you think of the nowadays games like frickin' Skater XL or Session or Skatebird?
I haven't got the chance to play Session yet, nor Skatebird, but I did play Skater XL. Honestly, here's the thing, right? Here's the deal. If they make a Tony Hawk, like Tony Hawk game, you know what I mean? With the same type of, people would just call that a Tony Hawk clone. Kind of like how people call Mafia a GTA clone. Or, you know, all that other stuff. But I don't understand why, like, Skate doesn't get that title of being a clone, which I'm glad it doesn't, because I hate people calling games clones. I think it's annoying. But, you know, if Tony Hawk would get the right to have its name as a clone, Skate, you know, oughta.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, like I do feel like the game was pretty good. Like frickin' Skater XL, it has potential, but it's not gonna be like a Tony Hawk game or a Skate game.
Forever wiping out on the saddest of half pipes, ridiculed by young and old.
Yeah, I would say that, you know, the new Tony Hawk game on the phone. I'm actually, hold on, let me pull up my phone to see if I can find the exact name of it, unless you remember it, because I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I think it's Jam
Skate
Session?
Jam.
Oh, Skate Jam?
Tony Hawk Skate Jam, yes.
Alrighty.
I think, honestly, I think that it's worth getting a controller for your phone.
I do agree with you. Well, I think this is about where we cut our video, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Gold Yen, for being a part of my video. I really do appreciate it. You want to say anything before we go?
Well, I want to say anytime I will gladly come onto your channel, but also, we've thought of an idea during a recording mistake. We would actually like to talk about in maybe the next video, what happened to the created skater from Underground 1? Why is he never talked about in any of the other games? Because they all take place in the same universe.
I know. And
I mean, when you think about it,
it is a good thing to think about.
Place in his home. Underground 2 takes place right by his old house at the beginning. Your skater's from New Jersey.